Hey everybody, welcome back to Ravenstead. It's time for another build. We're going to do another addition to the future city, a little cyberpunk build. I needed a wall, so I'll probably build a number of these as scattered terrain, probably off camera, but I wanted to give you an idea of how I'm going to go about it. So I'm just doing a little bit of light texturing here with a ball of aluminum foil, and then add a little interest to these big expanses of concrete. And I'm just putting in some lines there with a little sculpting scribe. And that'll show up pretty good when we do our dry brushing. So we'll get this all glued up. Keeping it pretty simple. I'm still resisting the urge to use a lot of greeble or printed extras on these. We'll probably start doing a little bit more of that as we build out from the city center into the more seedier parts of town. I did print out a couple of posters to put on this concrete wall. We'll look at those a little later on. And those little pieces there on the back just to add some interest here. So we're going to paint this out here in a bit. But I feel like I've been neglecting the rotten plank that some of you might be familiar with in some other builds. It's kind of a theme we got running here. So for the sci-fi builds, we're going to have the rusted panel. So I'll get a couple of these pieces of corrugated paper cut out and glued up. There we go. And I'll just kind of bend them out. And then when we paint this here in a second with the Mod Podge and black paint, it'll stiffen them up. I've got a project coming out on Kickstarter. I thought I'd take a second to show you some of the details from that kind of keep with this sci-fi build. I've made a pewter coin called the Imperium Credit. I'll give you a look at it here in just a sec. There it is. So that's my take on like a sci-fi coin. It's pretty big. It's 32 millimeters by 3 millimeters. And it'll be a collection of different coins. And I'll feature them on future builds. Hope you get a chance to check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. And you can check out the preview page. Anyway, back to the build. So we'll get finished painting this out, let that dry, and then we'll start our dry brushing. Going in with slate gray, so fairly dark gray, and then a lighter gray. Building those highlights. There you can see the lines that I cut into the foam. And then once we get that, I'll go with an even lighter color, very light gray, and pick out all the edges. And then a little bit of orange paint. This is terracotta is the name of the color. I wanted to do that for the rust effect on our rusted panel. So be on the lookout on future builds here in this series. You're going to be seeing more of those rusted panels. And now we need to do some washes. I started out using a black wash and it was just too dark, so I kind of wiped that off and then started in with this sepia wash. I know if anybody does any painting, a lot of times you try and avoid using black paint when you're doing landscapes or portrait painting or anything like that, just because the value is so stark. So using something like sepias or dark browns in your washes will get you the same effect without really clouding out all the details. That's a little Vallejo rust wash on the panels. And just dab that on here and there. The posters that I printed out, I just printed them out on regular printer paper, and then I coated both sides with spray acrylic, and that kind of stiffened them up and keeps them from wrinkling when you glue them down. I couldn't find my glue stick. Some little squirrel stole that, so I ended up just using a little bit more of the acrylic, sprayed it on the back, and then stuck it down onto the build. Also had a little printer malfunction there. One of the jets is clogged or something, or I'm running out of ink. But anyway, I ended up kind of liking the effect. So I'll just stick that on. And then I eventually coat the whole piece with a matte varnish. And that kind of toughens it up and protects everything. But that really set those posters down. So I'll give you guys a closer look. Let me spin this for you. This is the city wall. So future walls I'll build to tie into this, and then probably also add some modular towers that can go behind it so they're defensible. My guy's really interested in the TV show. There's the rusted panel. Appreciate you watching. Make sure you leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you get a chance, check out that new Kickstarter that's coming around. Again, I'll put the description down below. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.